Greetings gamers, my name's Anto. I've got a really quick video today on how I import endless dungeon maps into my Foundry. This video is sponsored by Burrowbound, more on them later. So if you've been watching the channel for any length of time, you know that I love random generators. I love using them to speed up my games, and I also really like to use battle maps. And sometimes I can't find the perfect battle map for what I want to use. Sometimes there isn't one that matches the tone I'm going for, and honestly, sometimes I'm just feeling lazy. I don't have the time to either go and find or make a beautiful looking battle map. I need something simple, old school, black and white, and fit for purpose. When I'm feeling like that, I often turn to a variety of online generators, things like the Don John dungeon generator, or more recently, Watabu's one-page dungeon generator. This thing is so useful. As you can see, it's pretty simple. It gives you the old school style map, and I can go ahead and just generate a whole bunch of dungeons really quickly until I find something that works. Now, I don't know whether this is just a problem, not really a problem, but a thing with my gaming group. A one-page dungeon, something that I expect them to get through in a night, they never get through in just one night, and it always takes them more than one session to get through one of these style of dungeons. So really quickly, I can get myself a couple of weeks breathing room to work on bigger plot devices, and weaving in new story threads, or just giving myself a bit of a break and taking a couple of easy weeks to kind of recalibrate myself as the game master. So I love using these one-page dungeon generators. I think they're super useful, and I will often import them into Foundry. Up until now, I've just been pulling them into Foundry and then making the walls myself. And if you've used Foundry, you know, making walls is kind of a chore. It's just a pain in the butt to have to go and draw in each wall. And then the fog of war system is just, it kind of sucks. It's the one thing I miss about playing in Fantasy Grounds. I could make fog of war on a blank white screen, and then I could draw the rooms out of the fog of war and draw a dungeon like that. I can't really do that in Foundry, at least not with any of the modules I found. If you know a module that lets you do that and have fog of war like you get in Fantasy Grounds, please let me know in the comments, because I would love to check it out. But I hate putting walls down. It's so tedious and it takes so long, but I don't have to. Thanks to a module made by the user Tarkan over on the Foundry side of things, you can import these Watabu one-page dungeons into Foundry with like 3 clicks, and I'll show you very quickly how to do it now. This video is sponsored by Burrowbound, a Patreon campaign that's building fully realized RPG cities for you to use in your games. Burrowbound gives you everything that you need to run a fully fleshed out city in your games and drag and drop them anywhere in your world. They come with maps of the cities, as well as NPCs, plot hooks, lore, music, and more. Every month you're going to get top-down battle maps of an entire town so that the players can start to explore the city streets and not just imagine them. You're going to get unique variations of the map so you can GM multiple times of day or different circumstances with your cities. You'll get a whole setting PDF that provides backstory, NPCs, important quest hooks, unique mechanics, and other lore for each of these locations, as well as beautiful art and illustrations for character portraits and tokens, alternative views of the city, and more. Finally, you'll get evocative music to help establish the tone of the city in your games and provide that next level of immersion for your players. All of this is wrapped up in ready-to-go Foundry assets, so you can import them directly into Foundry and get using them straight away. And you can pick up all of this from as little as $3. I'll leave a link down to the Patreon in the description below. Thanks again to Burrowbound for supporting the channel. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to generate your Watabu map. Then you want to hit right click and save as PNG. Choose your cell size in pixel, we'll leave it at the standard 70, and then right click again and export as JSON. Now this is going to do 2 things. It's going to give you the image that Foundry will use, and then it's also going to give you the JSON file which will tell it how to build the walls. Then you just install the one-page parser module in Foundry, make sure that's active in your world, and you're pretty much good to go. Let's run through an example in my Foundry. Let's go over to scenes, and you can see we've got a couple of options here. Right at the top, we've got one-page parser import scene. We hit that, we name our scene, we'll just call this test. We select a path for our background image. and then we select the location for our JSON file, hit save changes, wait for it to load up, and then jump on over, and boom, it's done. It's that simple. Go ahead and grab a player token here. You can see that the walls work properly. If we zoom in here, the doors are all put in so you can adjust them. Some of them start as locked, some of them start as open, so you can move them and do that. You can open them, interact with them, do all of the regular things that you can do in Foundry. Not just that, but the one-page dungeon from Watabu generates a bunch of notes for each room and gives you information on them, and those also get brought in if you're using the journal tools. So if we go ahead and hover over any of these red icons, it tells us exactly what's going to be in the room. So a skeleton on the ground makes a person slightly bigger if disrupted. I don't always use the prompts that the one-page dungeon generator gives me, but they're really useful to get a sense of the kind of things you're going to find in these maps. Then if you throw some lights on it, add in some monsters, you've got a whole dungeon to play with. And this is what I've done recently in my games. I needed a kind of magical laboratory, a magical facility that was filled with interesting and eclectic things. So I generated the basic layout with Watabu's one-page dungeon, and even here, like, as they enter in, the whole point of this place is experimental magic. So you can see here that the dungeon builder has made stairs and a doorway into what looks like the same level and plane. The way I got around this was the place is full of weird magic, so the stairs are like a set of MC Escher stairs, and they go up and down, but actually they don't. And if a character uses the stairs and then perceives the difference and makes note of the fact that they've gone up a level but they're actually still on the same level, they have to make a wisdom save or take psychic damage because they're breaking the universe. This is what people mean when they say any problem in a map can be fixed with magic. Once you throw some lights in, add the proper descriptions, your players are going to have a whale of a time, and it's taking you almost no time to do any of the prep, giving you time and brain space to focus on bigger stories or other things that you've got going on. Really hope you've enjoyed this one, just a short one for you this week while I'm busy doing other stuff, but I'd love to know what you think about the Watabu generators down in the comments below. If you're interested in other ways to make really quick and effective maps, check out this review I did of Dungeon Alchemist, which is one of the fastest ways to make beautiful looking maps that I've come across in the last couple of years. But until next time, happy gaming.